man, it's week like these that make me think, man, I really need to do a Monday show for college football because, wow. And I mean, wow, was this weekend of action wild. Sad injuries in the NFL world, wild trades that are just happening. Cooper Kupp on the trade block. We got some wild stuff going on in the college world. I mean, you know how it works on these Tuesdays. There's a lot to break down, a lot of recaps. We're pretty much just going to, I think, hop right in with the NFL. So, we'll do NFL recap of Season 7. This ain't Netflix. We're going to do the NFL recap of Week 7 real quick. So, without any further ado, we're going to try to burn through this a little bit quicker. I think I seriously spent like almost 50 minutes every single week breaking it down. I feel like I can maybe narrow that down to about 40 or so. Opening night for the NBA, by the way. Shout out. I potentially might have something in the works for NBA. We might have to wait a bit longer to see if we can make this work. But might have something that works for that. College football, I think, is starting very, very shortly. So my boy Rowan's going to have to be coming back on to tell us what's going on in the college basketball world. But yeah, without any further ado, we're just going to basically go right into the NFL because, like I said, there's a lot to talk about. And then we got some college football action to talk about. Fun weekend of sports. Thursday night football, not a lot to talk about. This will be a really easy one. Broncos 33, Denver Broncos 33, Denver Broncos 10. No, it's a Denver Broncos 33, Saints 10. Spencer Rattler getting his first start. Saints didn't do much on offense. This is pretty much all. Sean Payton's return to New Orleans, I think that kind of, I don't want to say overshadowed, but I feel like that wasn't made as big of a deal as it should have been. I mean, he returned home, absolutely just kicked their ass. I mean, to be fair, I think another reason why he wasn't brought up as much, Saints are just dealing with so many injuries. Speaking of injuries, man, Monday Night Football. Shout out Mike Evans, shout out Chris Godwin. We got a little bit to talk about with them later because, wow, did both of those look pretty bad. But like I said, moving forward with the Saints, they're 2-5, dealt with a lot of injuries that week, or that game on Thursday. And now it's just crazy because I'm just mad at myself for not taking it. But I came on the show for the first 2 weeks of the season when they're 2-0. It's like, I just don't see it. Saints not make the playoff. I think it reached as much as plus 180. That's looking pretty nice about now. Lost 5 straight. I mean, they're going to get some guys back next week. I just don't. With how many guys they have injured, it's actually ridiculous. They lost Debo to a fractured, pretty sure he fractured his femur, which is insane. That's really, really hard to do, especially on a football field. Man. Shout out to, just shout out to the Broncos. Big win for them. Big win for Sean Payton coming back home. And when it comes to the Saints, man, they're going to be in a tough spot. Our under for them is looking pretty good. Our over for the Broncos is looking pretty nice. I'm also going to go over some divisions today. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go on as well. But, man, with the Raiders looking as rough as they are, and who else is in that division? Chargers, man, throwing for 300 yards, not scoring any touchdowns. I mean, Chiefs undefeated. Broncos might be able to sneak into the playoffs, man. So that was a much-needed win for them. Moving on, we got the London game. Jags 32, Patriots 16. Nothing out of the norm we didn't expect. The only thing that sucked is the Patriots went up 10-0 early right away, and then you would have thought they were up 33-0 in the fourth quarter the way they put it in Park. I mean, they were just legit. It felt like they put it in Park. They basically did nothing on offense after throwing it. They threw it to get 10 points and then ran it to get down immediately. Trevor Lawrence actually looked pretty good in spots. I mean, they ran 15 for 20 for 193, 1 touchdown. He did all he really needed to. I mean, they ran the ball 17 plays in a row at one point. That doesn't tell you anything about this Patriots defense. I don't know. I can't recall one time in my lifetime I saw the Patriots get ran on 17 times in a row. Unless it was to end the game just for the other team to, get out of there. Because, we're down 50-0. Let's just run the ball to get out. But, oh my gosh, man. I mean, this was ugly. Gerard Mayo comes out and says, our team's soft. And he basically came out and re-said, I meant, you know what he meant by it, where he's basically calling himself soft. They need to build it better. But the way it came out to the media, it sounds like he's calling his players soft. And Bill Belichick comes out on the Pat McAfee show and goes, well, I know some of those players aren't soft and blah, blah. It's just tough scenes all around for the Patriots who, I mean, let's be honest, though, we didn't expect them to be this good. I'm just disappointed that they lost because it's man, I actually thought they had a legitimate chance to steal this game. And with how bad their defense played they just didn't stop the run. Their defense looks... Compare their defense to Bill Belichick's defense, and you can definitely notice some differences, which you expect to happen when you lose somebody that good. But, yeah, it's tough look for the Patriots who, they are who we thought they were. And, man, I don't know when they're going to get another win next. I mean, they won opening week, and they have not won since. They got Jets on Pat. I don't think they're going to win that one. Maybe we'll beat the Titans and Bears. I take it back. They might have some chance to win some games upcoming, but this team kind of stinks. Also, to go along with that, well, I'm sorry. I just had I'll admit, this trade's pretty bad in my fantasy league for one of the parties. Shout out my boy getting Terry McLaurin. Man, as a guy who's Jaden Daniels, I would love that stack, so I might have to hit him, my boy. No, but that got me sidetracked a little bit. We were talking about Patriots, Jags. I mean, there's not much more to get into. Doug Peterson saved his job a little bit. Patriots are building towards next year, obviously. Them losing that game is pretty huge, though, I will admit, for first draft picks. Just for the simple fact that, I mean, shit, they have a chance at Travis Hunter now or at some other star. I mean, they got a quarterback, so if they get the number 1 pick, I mean, they have so many positions that could really use an upgrade. So that's the nice part about the Patriots. If they end up with the number 1 pick, it's like, hey, even better, they might be able to trade it to another team, be like, hey, give us 2 firsts, a second, stuff like that, because the number 1 pick might be pretty valuable in this draft. But overall, I mean, yeah, poop game. Shout out to the Jags for winning the poop game, but now the Patriots are looking, I won't lie, they might have their sights on that number 1 overall pick. I think it's between them and the Titans right now, since the Jags now have officially 2 wins. I think the Panthers as well. But we'll look around some more as we look at these teams. Colts, they win 16-10 against the Dolphins. There were some few drops in the game that made AR look a little bit worse than he was. There were some plays that I'd love to have backwards. Like, man, I mean, it's just, you got to accept it. It's one of those things where it's like, we won 16-10. A win's a win. You can't get mad about a win. Tyler Goodson ran for a touchdown, looked late. Richardson led them down the field late and had some scoring drives that led into points. I mean, you want to talk about his completion percentage, we can do that. I'm not going to sit here and after every game be like, he only completed 50% of his passes. He only completed 60% of his passes. Because it's just funny how much that's changed now, because not even like 10 to 15 years ago, it was like, hey, if you completed 50 to 60, it's like, that's okay. You just need to have a lot of yards, vice versa. Now it's like kind of flipped where it's like, hey, it doesn't matter too much how many yards you got. If your completion percentage is high, it means you're doing good. These are all in quotes, by the way. Obviously, I understand it's a lot more deeper than that. That's just looking at it very broadly. But it's just, for a simple fact, like I said, the Colts last drives, 9 plays, 26 yards, ends in a field goal. They have another, and that's with, I think it's with 5:14 left. Yes. So with 18 seconds going into halftime, pretty much, with 18 seconds left in the third quarter. With 18 seconds left in the third quarter, going on to about like 8 minutes, 40 seconds. In the fourth, they get a field goal off that drive, 12 plays, 6 minutes of time possession, good keeping it. Then, the other one, like I said, 9 plays, 3-minute drive to score. I mean, that's a nice part. He at least got field goals at it, was able to get points. He's showing flashes, which is really awesome. But Anthony Richardson's showing some moments. It's like, hey, he's going to look good. But, man, if Tua plays in that game, I think the Dolphins win that pretty handily. Just simply for the fact their defense just can't get off the field, man. Can't stop the run, can't get off the field. That just sucks when you have a quarterback who you want to teach, you want to have learn, you want to have reps out there, but your defense just can't give him the ball those extra 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, looking at time of possession-wise, I mean, you got 31-28. I mean, I think I literally just said last week it was 31-28 for the Colts. I mean, that's not going to get it done, man. Every game, you're basically just splitting time down the middle. But yeah, like I said, for the Dolphins, they're going to get Tua back. I mean, we can basically just throw these last few weeks out the window. It's just basically, I know I've bashed Tua a lot, but hey, I got to give the dude credit. He runs that system better than any other quarterback we've seen in it. Now, have they put another competent quarterback in that system? Not really, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Overall, I mean, Dolphins should look a lot better. They play the Cardinals next week, or coming off a win against the Chargers, so I'm assuming that Cardinals are probably going to lose that game by 30, knowing them. Especially with how much, I think it's the first time they've won back-to-back games. The Cardinals haven't in a while either. But that's looking ahead to next week. Dolphins, like I said, they're probably going to be better now that they got quarterback. They're getting their quarterback Tua back. And hopefully that improves everybody on the roster. But overall for the Colts, amazing win. Now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you beat Houston next week. Both of you are tied 1-1. Both took a game at home. And the Colts will actually be in first place in the division, which is absolutely insane to think about. That Colts are going to, even after this rough start, Colts can still be first place in the division. They just have to beat Houston next week. Big game against Houston next week. I damn near, I know it's really early. I know I don't have a drop or any cool button for it, but this might be the division game of the year for the AFC South, and we get it in week 8. I mean, that's going to be a big game for the Colts. Big game. Buffalo Bills, I think they scored 24 unanswered. So they went 34-10 against the Titans. Titans just suck. I mean, Mason Rudolph played. Not much more happened on offense. They went up early and then immediately just went Wait, if the run doesn't work, it seems like they go to the pass really, really quickly. I don't think you want Mason Rudolph throwing 40 times. Obviously, the game script messed it up a little bit, but I don't think that's winning strategy, especially when your receiving room is Kevin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, and then a bunch of just guys. Best way to put it. They don't have, I mean, yeah, there's really, truly not too much to go into this game. I mean, the Bills are good, beat the shit out of a bad team. The Titans are truly bad, man. They are pretty bad. Looking ahead at their schedule, I mean, play the Lions next week, only going to get worse. Probably can beat the Patriots. I'll give them a chance to win that game. That's going to be a huge game for early drafts. Basically, just for the early draft picks, first 5 picks, this is going to be a major game for that. Because past that, yeah, I mean, Chargers probably not winning that. Vikings probably not winning that. Texans probably not. Commanders probably not. Jags maybe. Bengals. I guess tough towards the end. I don't know if Titans are going to be able to do much. So yeah, like I said, there's not too much to go into that game. Bills just basically kick their ass and send them home packing. Vikings Lions. This was game of the year for the NFC North. Wow, was this a fun game. Vikings go up 10 early very quickly. Fake punt doesn't work. That literally, for the Lions, that literally led to a Aaron Jones 34-yard rushing touchdown right away. You see David Montgomery got hurt for a little bit. I'm assuming he's fine because he came back in. Maybe it was just like a rolled ankle. They were carrying him off the field, so I thought it was an ankle or knee, but obviously we gotta double check that. I'm not 100% sure what exactly it was confirmed, but he came back in, so he should be fine, I would think. But like I said, after the Vikings score 10 early, then you get a Jahmyr Gibbs rushing touchdown, which that boy went off. You want to talk about stat lines? 15 rushes, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that boy was chugging that thing. 7 yards of carry is pretty good. I know helps when a lot of those come on some big runs, but like a 45-yard rush, that will help out. But yeah, he got a touchdown. Then Amon-Ra got a touchdown. Then Gibbs got another touchdown. Come back in the second half. 2 passing touchdown for Justin Jefferson, who yet again had another good game against the 7 for 81. He didn't have 100 like he normally does. Still had his touchdown. I mean, he still has great games against the Lions. I mean, this is just a game you can't take away from anybody. This was both teams are 5-1 now. I think it came out in my show. And if not, I at least heard this somewhere. The Vikings aren't going to go undefeated. Vikings are not going to go undefeated, so they're eventually going to lose a game. I thought this might be a spot for them to lose a game. I mean, I'll give them credit. I'd say at least 40% of that game, there was oh shit, the Lions are actually going to lose this, huh? Especially early on, they go down 10-0. I'm already starting to be like, damn, I kind of misread that one. I guess the Vikings are just going to run the gauntlet, and then thankfully, Pickem-wise, they lost. Man, tough for your boy in Pickem. We lose 2 of the last 3 games to basically not give us first place. Man, rough out here in these streets. But overall, great game for both quarterbacks. I mean, Jared Goff, 22 for 25, 280. I think he has more touchdowns than incompletions this month, which is absolutely just insane. Like, we're towards the end of October, and I think he has 5 to 6 incompletions versus 7-ish touchdowns. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's dumb. And then Sam Darnold, like I said, first game being behind, 22-27, 259, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I mean, a good game by both guys. Good game by both teams. It just sucks that somebody had to lose that game. And yeah, for the NFC North now, Lions. Massive swing in momentum for the Lions when it comes to NFC North, especially because they lost Aiden Hutchinson. That was a huge game to win. Bengals, 21-14 over Cleveland Browns. This game just sucked. It was 21-6, basically, all majority of the game. It was 7-0 first quarter, and then 7-6 going in the half, then 21-6. And then it ended up winning. Let's be honest, we know, congrats to the Bengals, first time they've won in, what is that? First time they won in Cleveland, I think, in the Joe Burrow era, damn near. I think it's seriously been it's been 0 for something. It's bad. But I think the biggest thing, obviously, we can take away from this game, Bengals offense kind of ass against good defenses right now. That's really concerning. The fact that every good to somewhat good defensive they played, they put up almost no points. Really concerning for an offense this good. Truly, it just makes you wonder what's wrong. Cleveland, yeah, I think we can talk about it. If you watch the game live, wow, gross. I'll admit this is weird. I remember being a kid and actually being able to watch injury videos and be like, wow, I can't believe that happened. Be like, all right, so I want to make sure to never do that movement, or just seeing those movements and be able to watch it and be like, oh, that sucks. That looks like it hurts. man, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but yeah, it's not. I need a little bit of better focus. Your boy just got chills just thinking about the Deshaun Watson injury. I mean, I've completely 180'd on that ever since my shoulder surgery. Like, I used to be like watching, not like it's a weird, like fun watch. It was an intrigue watch where it's like, oh, so that's how this happens. Where it's like, oh, you just twist your knee this way. It's like I like the fact that the human body can do that. Like it's just. I admit, I was genuinely intrigued as a younger person learning about all that. Now it's just like, dude, I don't want to see any of that shit. Because, man, that Deshaun Watson injury is gross. You just watch him basically plant. I mean, you see it instantly. If you know what a torn Achilles looks like, expects anything, I mean, you can see it instantly. He takes a step, goes to plant off it. You just see it go boing, shoot up into his calf, and, yeah. Season's over, obviously, so they're going to have a quarterback situation. And I don't know if they've announced if DTR or... They signed Blake Zappi off the Chiefs practice squad, but I don't know if DTR or Jameis is going to be starting for them. I don't know if that's fully been announced yet, but yeah, with how much money Deshaun Watson has earned, there's a good chance we see him potentially play again, but I will also not be shocked if this is the last play we ever see Deshaun Watson. I mean, man, what a sad, like, truly what a sad career. Just overall, just like so much promise, so much everything, so much talent, so much potential. I mean, I watched him in Houston, Texas a lot. Dude was a demon, and then got in his own way, injuries happened. It's just sad, man. You hate to see it. Truly a guy who had a lot of talent, who was truly special in the football field. Now it's just like, what now? What's his future going to look like? Is he even going to be able to play again? Is he playing for the Browns again? I mean, after this Browns contract, I don't know a team that's going to sign him, basically, as of right now, the way he's playing. I mean, he needs to improve that a lot. Another really fun game. Packers-Texans. Packers win 24-22, don't cover. The hook a motherfucker. Man, I'm so glad I didn't bet this game because I probably would have ended up with Packers. CJ Stroud, another kind of tough game. 10 for 21, 86 yards passing. Their scoring drives are really confusing if you look for the Texans. Made field goal. We got 5 plays, 1 total yard. And that's in the first quarter. Second quarter, we got 2 plays, 11 rush yards, touchdown. 7 plays, 40 total yards, touchdown. Oh, sorry, that's the Packers. Excuse me. Another 9. So 2 for 11. 2 plays, 11 yards total. That's a field goal for the Texans. Texans, again, 9 plays, 23 yards total. They go from Houston 43 to the Green Bay 34, kick a field goal. 5 plays, 50 yards, touchdown. That's a little bit better. And then another 1 play, no yard. I mean, that's the end half. Never mind. We are going to look at that. But, I mean, if you just look at some of these drives, I mean, Texans just 4 plays, negative 1 yard. They just truly struggled in some of these games. And it's like, don't get me wrong. I think C.J. Stroud's a good quarterback. Still think he's great. I mean, it's starting to get to that point now, though, where you look at him, it's like, okay, so now he was on, like, an ascension trajectory where it's like, he's going to leap over Mahomes. All he needs to do is win the Super Bowl. Now it's starting to level off a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Still a great quarterback. I almost would say AR's my guy, but it's like, man. It'd be hard to say no to C.J. Stroud. There's not many quarterbacks I'd say no to C.J. Stroud over. Or I'd say, give me that guy over C.J. Stroud. Not many in the league, but another good game where he plays a somewhat good defense. I understand it was on the road. Vikings made him look bad. Packers made him look bad. It's the nice part. We talked about this a few weeks ago when the Vikings did, where it's like, okay, if you're a Colts fan, fan of AFC South, it's like, all right, so we can have these games. We just need to figure out how to make it more often. And I'm curious to see how he bounces back from this because overall, I mean, the biggest thing was Green Bay won. It's just, man, they held that Texans offense down in that game. If this defense is going to play like this, I mean, the Packers are going to be a legitimate problem. We're going to go over playoffs and everything here in a minute with the odds and everything. I mean, that truly might be a team. I'll admit, didn't get a lot of eyes in this game. Big blowout. 34-14, Seahawks beat the Falcons. This is one of those weird games. Like, I picked the Falcons, and more I just heard about it. It's like, yeah, Seahawks probably need to win this game. Seahawks are going to win this game. Seahawks are going to win this game. Seahawks are going to win this game. And that's just more I heard about it. I heard more people picking Seahawks, more people picking Seahawks. And I hate to say it, I didn't move my pick, but I came into Sunday like, yeah, Falcons are losing, aren't they? Damn. And I think I even gave out the Falcons at one point. Immediately took that off the sheet because I'm like, actually, I don't like them at all. I thought there was a chance they'd win the game, not look this bad, but we got some NBA Jam stuff at least for the Falcons. Another game of Drake London, 6 receptions and a touchdown. So he's now had 6 receptions and 6 receptions in every game since September 16th, which is the whole season minus week 1. And he's had a touchdown now in the last 3 weeks, and he's done it 5 of the 7 weeks. So Drake London scored a touchdown, and 6 receptions and a touchdown. That's going to be, and his yardage, damn near. He had 63 yards that game. That's going to be something we're going to look to bet every single game. But, yeah, shout out to Seahawks. Much needed win. Really helps my over. We had the Seahawks over 7.5 wins. They would have went to 3-4 with the schedule they got upcoming. That would have hurt a little bit. They got Bills, Rams, bye. 49ers, Cardinals, Jets. Cardinals, Packers, Vikings, Bears, Rams. Finish out their season. That's going to be a sketchy 8-9 wins if they can get there. So this was a much-needed win for that aspect of it. But, yeah, for the Falcons, tough loss, man. Like I said, I didn't get too many eyes in this game, so I just don't know why they looked as bad as they did. But, yeah, I don't know. Just one of those weird games where I was on one side and then immediately after the game, it's like, oh, or immediately like about basically as the game started, it's like, yeah, I think I might be on the wrong side. And sure enough, if you'll notice in the Pickem when we talk about it Thursday, though, clutch by me. I had a 6 on them originally, flipped that to a 4, put my 6 on Green Bay, and that ended up putting me into contention to almost win the week. So that was a massive flip by me for that. Eagles beat the piss out of the Giants 20-3. Saquon sucks he couldn't get the second touchdown for us. Our future with him to score 4 touchdowns against the Giants. The Giants are probably going to be, the Eagles are probably going to be sitting the last week of the season, probably not playing a lot of their guys potentially, so, yeah, that Saquon, that future might be busted, but, said on the show, bet is over 100 rushing yards, over 2 touchdowns, over a touchdown. Saquon, 17 carries, 176 yards, 1 touchdown. Probably should have had 2. He should have had 2 touchdowns, honestly. Jalen Hurts took 2 of them, and then there's another one. I forget what ended up happening. I can't remember if the drive died or if somebody else ended up getting a pass, but their situation were set up for him to do something, and it just got taken away, and it's one of those where it's like, damn, I can't even blame him. Like, for example, they give it to Saquon twice, then do a tush push. It's like, fuck, I understand it. Huge win for the Eagles, though. Just absolutely beat the tar out of them. Daniel Jones has thrown a touchdown in New York in, 600 days, which is just insane. He actually did throw one in this game, but it got called back. So that's... Man, the Giants are just bad, dude. I can't believe they... Did they beat the Seahawks? I can't believe they beat the Seahawks after watching them lose 17-7 and losing 28-3. I mean, it's confusing. They should have beat the Commanders. So they got the shit kicked out by the Vikings. Should have beat the Commanders. Beat the Browns, which even... Almost beat the Cowboys, which now may kind of make sense. They could have been. This is crazy. This is a team that could have been 4-3, even 5-2 potentially. Instead, they're 2-5. I mean, Giants are a weird one because like I said, there's been 2 or 3 games where they've just actually gotten the shit kicked out of them. Then there's been some other games where it's like, how'd you even win that, or how in the hell are you still even in it? Weird team to figure out. Man, I just don't know how they keep Brian Daboll or Daniel Jones. One of those guys eventually have to go. You feel like. Commanders lose Jaden Daniel very, very, very early. Start off the game with a defensive pick 6. Went 40-7. Jaden Daniels likes that. Basically didn't play this whole game. He was in the first 2 drives. And, yeah, he went 2 for 2 for 6. 3 rushes for 50 yards. Basically didn't play after that. Mariota comes in 18 of 23. 205. 2 passing touchdowns. McLaurin, 6 for 98. Zach Ertz, 4 for 40 and a touchdown. Shout out to our boy, man, Ben Sinnott. 2 receptions, 6 yards and a touchdown. First reception of the game, finally gets in a touchdown. I bet that boy, the Senator, Ben Sinnott, over probably been 2 or 3 weeks. I've bet him hoping to score a touchdown, and he hasn't been able to. So, finally, nice to see him get in the end zone. Got some massive odds, and I think it was plus 2,600 by that point in the game. Horrible news for Cardinals, by the way. Dennis Gardeck tore his ACL last night, which is a horrible loss for them because that's one of their better players on a team that does not have a lot of great players. Man, Panthers are bad, dude. Panthers are really, really bad. I think they at least have their own pick this year, hopefully, I think. So at least if they do get the number 1 pick, they'll be able to... Let's be honest, they have a need almost every position. As a team, they might be the worst team of the decade. That's what I've been heard float around by a lot of places, and we're going to do some research on that. That might be a 2-3 week, come back to you and let you know, but that might be, I think they're up there, truly. Rams, they went 15-20 over the Raiders. Raiders field goal them to death. Aren't able to punch in the end zone. Aiden O'Connell fractures his thumb. He's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Always funny when you have the quarterback that gets benched, then a week later gets put back in, and then even funnier in this circumstance. Not funny, but obviously ironic. It's like, hey, We need you to start for another month, buddy, and then you're probably getting benched again. Raiders are just an absolute mess. Antonio Pierce, hate to say it, probably not keeping his job. I will not be shocked if he gets moved on from at the end of the season or here soon. I mean, Raiders need a quarterback. Brock Bowers is at least really, really good. Before I get to that point, shout out Kyron Williams scoring another touchdown on a nasty streak. I can't believe I haven't brought this up, by the way, on the show because his odds have just been so horrible, but he scored a touchdown in every game this season so far, and he scored a touchdown going back to last year. I think it's 11 games straight, so until that doesn't happen, just assume, automatically bet that. But, like I said, going back to the Raiders, Brock Bowers, massive game for them, 10 for 93. He's their best receiver option. I mean, if you look at it, he had 10 for 93, and then there's 3 for 36, 3 for 30, 2 for 19, 1 for 14. On the other end, though, basically when you talk about the Rams, let's be honest, massive win for the Rams. Not too shocked the Raiders lost. Sucks that Aiden O'Connell got hurt because they actually might have had some potential to be, I don't want to say good, but he was at least going to be fun to play behind. Sucks too because I meant to take his rushing under this weekend. I don't even know if that was on the books. Meant to take it. Wanted to start looking into that a little bit more, but now he's going to be hurt 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully you remember it because I think that boy is yet to scramble in his NFL career, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, Raiders just basically get pooped on by the Rams. And, it's 15-20. This was a pretty ugly game. Low scoring. Kyron gets 2 rushing touchdowns, by the way. Defensive fumble return for a touchdown, which was awesome. I had that bet at some point. Because no joke, I was watching these 3 o'clock games. I'm sitting here, it's like, okay. I was truly sitting there, it's like, who do I think's going to score on defense? And I saw that Aiden O'Connell went out. Gardner Minshew came in. Being a guy who's a Colts fan, watching Gardner Minshew, it's like, that guy turned over the ball a little bit. Got like plus 750, plus 800 on those odds. It was awesome. Chiefs, 28-18 win over the 49ers. By the way, I have nothing else to really add to the Rams. Good win for them. I actually did, before I go to Chiefs, they're shopping Cooper Kupp, potentially, which is very interesting. They've contacted teams about trading Kupp. Apparently they want a second-round pick in return and is willing to take on Kupp's salary. Which, man, it's crazy. I literally just joked in our fantasy group chat. I'm like, somebody's going to get Cooper Kupp for a third-round pick and a compensatory, like, 6th-rounder or some shit like that. And sure enough, hey, they want a second-rounder, which, let's be honest. A lot of people are saying Bucks. I would not be shocked if he ends up a Buccaneer, but okay, that makes sense. Chiefs have little no cap space. But I would say if any team's going to do it, it's probably the Chiefs. Chiefs probably be a good one. Bucks would be a great one. I'm trying to think. Any other teams? 49ers. Rams don't do that division. Never mind. I'm trying to think of teams with other injuries. I'd love the Colts to get him, but there's not a chance in hell they're going to do that. Trying to think of other teams. I just really don't. I don't know. I think Buccaneers or Chiefs are the 2 leaders. Past that, though, Jets? No, honestly. Steelers might not be a bad one. Half joking, but in all seriousness, it might not be horrible. Bills might not be a bad one, but it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to keep an eye on Cooper Kupp, see where he ends up. Chiefs, 49ers, Chiefs just win again. Ayuk torn ACL out for a season. Horrible loss for them. Brandon Ayuk, or who did I just say? I meant to say Brandon Ayuk torn ACL out for the season. I literally don't even know whose name I just said. Wow. I apologize. It's Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL, not whoever I just said. And then along with that, pneumonia issues for Deebo Samuel, so that's why he didn't play all game. Their healthiest receiver was a guy who got shot a month and a half ago. Not a good sign. Jake, is that Crowing? I don't even know if it's Jacob Cowing. Oh, Jacob Cowing, excuse me. 2 for 50 is their second leading receiver. Man, this 49 team is the team. I thought it was the Vikings, honestly, was going to be the team from hell this year. We talked about it earlier in the year where it's like, man, this team can't catch a break. They got everybody hurt. Just kidding. I guess it was the 49ers because, wow, they were dealing with injuries left and right. All Brock Purdy's really, really, really bad games seem to be coming against the Chiefs. So, obviously, Spags has this number on him. I think Spags also has a thing on Shanahan where he's like 4-0, 5-0 against him the last few games. One of Mahomes' worst games of his career. 16 for 27, 154, 2 interceptions, and they win the game. God damn it, man. These Chiefs are just going to find a way to win every week, aren't they? Mecole Hardman, Is the Chiefs' leading receivers. If you look at all the receivers, Noah Gray, I don't know why. Actually, I do not know why they have Noah Gray up there. Or McCall Hardman. It should be Noah Gray, who had 4 for 66. Yeah, it's literally just Chiefs are going to do this every week, I guess. So they're going to find different ways to win. I mean, they even had Carson Steele getting some carries in there. Kareem Hunt, 22 for 78. Kelsey didn't even... I don't even think Kelsey had to do that much. Kelsey has 4 receptions for 17 yards. I mean, truly, it's insane how the Chiefs are now just going to win with defense every week. And, hey, that defense good, boy. That defense good. Jets, 15-17. They lose this game. Shout out, somehow, some way, 15-13 going in the half for the Jets. The Steelers special, baby. Steelers opponent, in this case the Jets, to win the first half, and the Steelers to win at the end of regulation. Plus 800 this week. After almost hitting, it should have hit last week as well at plus, what were those odds? I think it was like plus 7, I think I might have been plus 850 as well. 850, 750 as well for that last week. Almost hit against the Colts game as well. I mean, this team just loves close games, man. Close battle for them. Russ looked amazing as the game went on. Had 264 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Had 2 or 3 really good deep moon balls to, what's his name? George Pickens. I don't know why it took me so long to think of his name. I was literally reading off the stats. I said Van Jefferson touchdown with about 10 minutes left. I'll admit that's when I about packed it up. So I don't know how the Jets, looked towards the end of the game, but I don't know. I just get more and more confused by the Jets team. Maybe they're just a bad team at this point. Maybe they're just a bad team. I would thought they'd be good, but they just are. This is a game it feels like they should have won. Damn near must win. Now they're playing the Patriots next week. I think they'll beat the Patriots, but. Wow, it's to the point now. It's getting late. What was I saying? It's getting late early for the Jets because looking at their schedule, they got Patriots, Texans, Cardinals, Colts. I realistically think they can win 3 out of 4 of those. Going to bye, they got Seahawks, Dolphins, Jags, Rams, Bills, Dolphins. Basically just to make the playoffs, they got to go 7-3 down the stretch. The last 10 weeks of the season. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be tough. That's just to get to 9-8. They have to go 7-3. So it's gonna be really, really rough. Man, that's gonna be a tough one for the Jets. As for the Steelers, shouts to them. Huge win. Tomlin punched the right keys. Russ looks like he's gonna be pretty decent for them. And hey, the Steelers are already at 5-2. We had their win total at, I think it was at 8.5. Awesome. This is literally what we dreamed of them getting the 5. Literally the only thing that could have been better is they beat the Colts to go 6-1. Because we had them losing to... Wow. Actually, I take that back. They could really... I would rather them... I think they should have beat the Cowboys more than the Colts, damn near. So I take that back. They had a real... if they were able to come back against the Colts, they had a real shot of being 7-0. This team's defense is just on another level. Another team where we took their over, and it's... Like I said, we got blessed, because now they have the Giants... going into Monday Night Football, I believe. And then it's a bye week. Commanders, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. So I think they're going to split against Bengals, split against Ravens potentially. If there's 2 losses, they'll beat the Browns, maybe lose the Chiefs. They're going to have a few. The end of their schedule is going to be really, really tough because there's a lot of division. That's a tough. This is probably the hardest schedule. I think we talked about it early in the offseason. I think this is the hardest schedule down the stretch, especially because of the Commanders now. Because you got Commanders, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. That's all division foes, which means immediately is already not an easy game. And then your non-division games, don't worry, you just got the Chiefs. At least you're home for that one. Then you have to travel to Philly, and you have to travel to Washington. So it's just going to be a tough end of schedule for them. Monday Night Football doubleheader. Ravens win 41-31. Cardinals win 17-15 against the Chargers. Ravens beat the Bucs 41-31. Mark Andrews becomes the Ravens' all-time leader in receiving touchdowns. Shout out to him. Awesome night for him. Lamar just is amazing. 17 for 22, 281. 5 passing touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 169 on the ground. He had a receiving touchdown. This is an honestly really fun game to watch. It was pretty back and forth. Bucs scored 21 in the fourth, kind of. I'll say the first one was more competitive than the last 2, but even then, still overall, pretty good game. But yeah, Ravens just beat them. I mean, they just beat them down right away. Like I said, 21 of the 31 came in the fourth quarter. It's pretty much, I think, like 34-10 at some point. Pretty much out of the game. Biggest issue, we talked about this earlier when I alluded to it. Mike Evans, man, that was scary. I know his hamstring hurt. Man, that just shows you to go through that. I thought he was limping on the sideline. They mentioned he might be hurt. And I wondered that, like, damn, he definitely probably is hurt. Oh, that boy was hurting bad. If you watched the game last night, I don't think you would have thought that he woke up in the middle of the night with the worst cramp in his hamstring or calf. The way he was acting, I mean, he definitely like pulled that motherfucker. I mean, I truly think it's going to be a point we aren't going to see Mike Evans for a few weeks, which really sucks. Because as a guy who took, first off, he's a really good football player, and then also as a guy who took some of his futures. I mean, he was looking good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had his over at 8.5. He for sure would have hit that, but man, the way he grabbed his hamstring, I'm curious to see how long he's going to end up being out. He's getting an MRI on Tuesday, but I mean, the way he acted, he was hurting his hamstring right away. It was a deep ball. He was already limping after the first touchdown. For the second touchdown, I mean, you saw, basically he has the ball in his hands. Dude tackles him. His legs kind of straighten up a little bit, hit a weird angle, whatever. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just like a normal tackle. Immediately, you see kind of Mike Evans basically let go of the ball. I don't know if this is because of the injury or not, but it's basically all went in one motion. Let go of the ball, falls to the ground. I mean, immediately just laying on the ground, grabbing his leg, kind of writhing. I mean, he had to pull the ever-living shit out of it. The fact that he pulled a hammy, we probably aren't going to see him for at least a month or two. He's going to end up on IR. I'm not going to be shocked if Mike Evans ends up on IR. They at least got to give him a month off the heel because the fact that the way he reacted was just horrible. And then another sad injury, Chris Godwin, man. Poor guy, man. I feel for the guy so, man. I mean, you want to talk about a tough dude, though. For all those who saw the video afterwards, amazing video. You just basically see him on the cart. He was kind of talking to the guy where he's like, my thing's messed up, isn't it? He's like, and you just see Godwin go, damn, back to work then, huh? And that just tells you all you really need to know about the guy. The fact he's just like, damn, back to work then, huh? Tough ass kid, man. And by kid, I mean, I think the dude's literally my age. I call him a kid. He actually might end up even be a slight bit older than me. He is. He's 3 years older than me. The kid. Man, no. Absolute toughness. Miami becoming a free agent now. I wonder where he's going to end up. I would assume that the Bucs would want to keep him around, but dude, I just feel for him so bad. I mean, the injury just sucked. Happened towards the end of the game. Anybody who thought that he should have been sitting in on the bench, I disagree wholeheartedly. The fact that they got an onside, the Bucs got an onside, and realistically, when he got hurt, you look at the time, you're like, oh, what the fuck? They started the drive with 1:30. So realistically, if they're able to score quickly, I mean, they're all of a sudden they score a touchdown, score a field goal, they're down 7 or 10, get another onside. All of a sudden, it's like, oh shit, they're one possession away from potentially going to overtime. So I don't agree with anybody who thought he should have been satting with 10 seconds left. Especially NFL players, like they have. This isn't the NBA. They play once a week. They have incentives. They have certain goals to reach. Especially a wide receiver, like you aren't guaranteed balls at all. This is a perfect situation where it's like, hey, somebody needs to get some passes. I think if the players want to stay in, it's just super unfortunate. I hope Chris Godwin's going to be okay. Cardinals basically win this. There's there's 3 plays that I thought that pretty much fully swung the game. First one being, it looks like that. Who was it? I got to think buddy's name. Jalen Reagor. It's 41-yard reception, his only catch of the game. It looked like he's truly about to score. Somehow he just barely. Basically, this is the point. This is the very first instance, now looking back on it, hindsight, where I'm like, oh, the Chargers are fucked, huh? Like, it was one of those, like, oh, it's not their night, huh? Dude barely is able to stay in bounds. Ball gets punched out. He's on the edge of the sideline. Ball stays in, fumble out the back of the end zone. Cardinals are able to get it before it fumbles out the back of the end zone anyway. Cardinals ball. Second moment. Horrible rush by... And by horrible, I'm talking about lane integrity-wise. Horrible rush by Khalil Mack, lane integrity-wise, because he goes either, I forget if it went inside or just way too wide, but basically gave Kyler the lane to run, and that was on Kyler's massive, 40, 50-yard touchdown run. That it was basically given up because of horrible lane integrity. 44-yard touchdown run, horrible lane integrity, like I said. Then the third play of the game, they hit it, Marvin Harrison's head. Hate it, absolutely hate that it's a penalty. Understand that's the rule. Absolutely hate the penalty. That the fact that, I understand he got hit in the head, but hate the penalty. Absolutely hate it. And led them being have a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. They kick it to win it. Shot to Danny and Pickem, who is getting that boy got some luck in the Pickem now. He has I have a 9 on the Chargers. He has a 15 on the Cardinals. And instead of me gaining as many points as I do on the weekend, I think he actually, instead of gaining like 20, 30 points on him this weekend, I gained 5 in Pickem. And it's like, man, what the fuck? But yeah, really fun week of games. Sucked with the injury-wise. So like I said, let's see if some news, see if we missed any news real quick. We talked about Cooper Kupp potentially getting traded. Bucks Godwin is undergoing season-ending ankle surgery. He dislocated his ankle. That's what the injury ended up being, by the way. I totally forgot to mention what it was. It ended up being a dislocated ankle. Man, that just sucks, man. I feel for the guy. Craig Sharpley, group of senior nominees for... Oh, okay. That's for Hall of Fame stuff. Apparently, Jerry Jones... The Cowboys didn't pursue Derrick Henry due to fit and cap constraints. That's bullshit. If you really wanted Derrick Henry, you would have... Yeah. Somebody in the first comment, fit? Yeah, Henry's a winner. Yeah, they really wanted it, they would have got some done. Jalen Watson, the Chiefs corner, is undergoing surgery, it looks like, so he's likely going to be done for the year. Basically, his season's over, but it's late in the postseason, and he's feeling super great. He has a chance to come back. I'm trying to see. He got spotted with crutches in the locker room. I don't remember when he got hurt. But that obviously sucks for them. That's a huge loss to a Chiefs defense that's damn near elite. Bailey Zappi signed off the Chiefs practice squad. 5 touchdowns by Lamar, man. Jameson Williams suspended 2 games for a PED violation. I don't know. It feels like it should be a 4-game suspension. The fact that it's only 2 games makes me wonder what he took. I don't know if it's been released yet, but only 2 games. That just means, like, man, did he smoke weed or something? Like, it's something like small like that. It's like, did he do meth? And they're like, all right, 2 games for this. I guess it's like, why only 2 games versus 4 when it's usually the other stuff? If it's like performance enhancing, it's 4 games. So it makes 2 games like, what? Did he just take some? He's taking some Adderall? Like, did he take Adderall to focus up a little bit more? Like, what the hell? The Raiders are signing Desmond Ridder off the Cardinals practice squad, assuming he's going to end up backing up Gardner. Week to week with a knee injury is DK Metcalf. Jaden Daniels is also week to week. They look to hopefully have him play this weekend. And Chiefs Juju Smith-Schuster ends up missing the Raiders game with a hamstring injury. That's tough. Yeah, I think that basically does it. I don't think there's anything else we missed. Also, shout out James Cook. If you took James Cook rushing over with me, 4.5 rushing touchdowns on the season. Books are being slimy. They haven't cashed it out yet, but that's our first future of the season that's hit. I can't wait to cash it out. That's going to be the first one cashed out right to the bank. Love it. Shout out to James Cook, man. 4.5. We felt way too low, but yeah, like I said, it's kind of bullshit that they won't release it. Another episode. We're going to actually talk divisions when I'm going over. We mentioned for the Colts, slight bit. We're going to go over divisions just slightly bit. Colts, they win. They'll be in first place in division. We're going to deep dive the divisions because we went long today, but we'll deep dive probably next week after. It's getting to that point where it's week 7. We need to start looking at some divisions. But you look at the division standing, Bills 5-2 leading the way in the AFC East. Damn near feels like a lock if you look at the rest of the teams. Dolphins 2-4, Jets 2-5, Patriots 1-6. Bills in a comfortable spot. AFC North, you got the Ravens and Steelers tied. With I think the Ravens have the... I think they have the tiebreaker. Ravens in first, 5-2. Steelers 5-2 right behind them. Then you got 3-4 Bengals, 1-6 Browns. AFC South 5-2 Texans, 4-3 Colts, and then 2-5 Jaguars, 1-5 Titans. Like I said, if the Colts win the game this weekend against the Texans, they'll be number 1 in the division. Just like we thought it was. Just like we said it would be. Chiefs 6-0 in their division. Behind them, Broncos in second, 4-3. Chargers 3-3 right behind them. Then you got the Raiders at 2-5, holding down the back. NFC, Commanders 5-2 winning their division. Eagles 4-2 right behind them. Cowboys 3-3. Then Giants 2-5. Detroit Lions tied with the Vikings at 5-1 for the top of their division, but they have the tiebreaker. Lions in first, Vikings in second. Packers in third at 5-2. Bears in fourth at 4-2. Are we going to see all 4 of these teams in the playoffs? The Bears get to 9-8, and the Packers stay how they should. I mean, there might be a chance. Falcons 4-3, first in the NFC South, tied with the Bucks at 4-3. I think the Falcons have the tiebreaker in that one. I actually can't remember who won that game. I believe it was the Falcons. Saints are 2-5. Panthers 1-6. And you got the Seattle Seahawks 4-3 in first place in the NFC West. Cardinals are 3-4 in second. 49ers due to tiebreakers, third at 3-4, and you got the Rams 2-4 and fourth. Man, if I told you at the beginning of the year the standings in the NFC West and the NFC West and the records in the NFC North, I think a lot of people would be shocked. If I told a lot of people that the Colts are going to be one game by week 7, only one game out of first, I think that would shock a lot of people. I mean, I'll admit, looking across this, there's not too much that Broncos and Chargers I personally had flipped. That's not too surprising. Colts division-wise, I had the Titans and Jaguars flipped. Otherwise, not too shocking there. And AFC North, we always knew that was a crapshoot. Somewhat similar to my thoughts, not too crazy. Bill, I'll admit, the AFC East I kind of got wrong a little bit because I thought the Jets would be a lot better than they are. I thought the Bills might take a slight step back, but past that, I thought the Dolphins Patriots would be towards the bottom between the Bills and Jets. Might be wrong about that one. Yeah, NFC South, who the hell knows? We just knew the Saints and Panthers probably weren't going to win it, so not too shocked about the Bucs and Falcons being tied. NFC West, a little bit shocked by that, I'll admit. I thought 49ers have a way better start to the season. NFC North, I'm just shocked how good everyone is. And then for the NFC East, Commanders, I'll admit, did not have Commanders in first place. That'll do for the NFL. That kind of goes over idea. Wild card wise, if you look at the wild card, 5th seed Steelers, 6th seed Colts, 7th seed Broncos, and you got the Chargers, Bengals, Dolphins right behind them. NFC wise, you got the Vikings, 5th seed, Packers, 6th seed, Bears, 7th seed. You got the Eagles, Bucks, Cowboys, and Cardinals, and 49ers all right behind them, 1 or 2 games out. Now we're going to move to college football. We're going to burn through this very quickly. This is going to be 15, 20 minutes. Like I said, every week that goes by, we're more and more likely to, we're just going to do a Monday show because why not? I mean, I can easily just talk about college football for about 25 to 30 minutes, make it its own show, and then we just have a whole 50 minutes to an hour to talk strictly NFL. And then that way, hey, if you like college football and you feel like, because it's crazy, I'm actually having really fun with the college football betting-wise. Feels like it's been a really fun year just to watch, and it's like, I feel like I need to get some more time to it. So, yeah, look out for the next, let's be honest. We're going to be talking about, I know the season's almost over. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 to 7 weeks of the regular season left. I'll at least for the last probably a week or two from now probably start doing Monday episodes with college football. And if not, like I said, for sure going to be doing it by next year because, yeah, we show college football a little bit of love. We're going through, let's see. We're going to talk about every game because until we get the Monday show, and then we probably will start going over every game. Like, yeah, that's why I mainly want to do it till Mondays. That way I can basically read every score, kind of give thoughts if I had eyes on the game. Virginia Tech absolutely blows out Boston College. That sucked. Oregon, 35-0 win over Purdue. Not too shocking. Duke wins it for us. They beat Florida State 23-16, which, man, Florida State is stinking. I think there's 17 teams in the original top 25 that are lower than your original ranking or even completely out of the top 25, which is just crazy. Shows how chaotic it's been this year so far. BYU, able to hang on the win, and they have to storm back a little bit against Oklahoma State. They're able to win that 38-35. Notre Dame beats Georgia Tech 31-13. Army, the wagon, they cover. They won 45-28. Man. Oh, Army doesn't play this week. That's depressing. We don't get a bet until next week now. That sucks. But East Carolina fired their coach, by the way, after this game, and they have a pretty easy schedule coming, so keep an eye on Eastern Carolina to maybe string a few wins together. Indiana, man. Shout out College Game Day going to IU. Indiana just pounded it in on Nebraska. They went 56-7. Curtis Rourke's injured. That's something definitely keep an eye on. He's basically out indefinitely until they are able to get him back. He had a thumb injury, so hopefully he'll be okay soon. UCLA beats Rutgers. Rutgers just has so many guys hurt, and it sucks. In a season that could have been truly special for them, injury seems like it's going to derail it. Coastal Carolina loses to the Raging Cajuns. That's a bit of a shocker. Arizona State loses to Cincinnati, and now they got open kicking tryouts. So if you're in the Arizona State area, Arizona State needs a kicker, man. Clemson wins 48-31 over Virginia. I feel like that score is a little bit closer than it should have been, but I had 21 in the fourth quarter. I had no eyes on the game, so I truly don't know there. Wisconsin wins 23-3 over Northwestern, just basically shuts them down. Wake wins 23-20 over UConn. Missouri, Brady Cook ends up injured, goes to the hospital, ends up coming back, leading them to 21-17 victory. South Carolina defense just shuts down Oklahoma. They win 35-9. They were up 21-0 early off 2 or 3 defensive scores. Eastern Michigan comes back to win against Central Michigan, I believe. This was a comeback. 22 points in the fourth quarter. to win this game by 4. Shout out to them. NC State keeps Cal. I think Cal has a single win in the ACC now. I think they're 0-4. NC State wins 24-23 in a close one there. Washington State blows out Hawaii. Toledo, NIU. NIU's now 4-3 after their big Notre Dame win. After beating Notre Dame, they have lost to Buffalo, lost to NC State, win, loss. So their season's starting to get a little bit rocky now. They're hanging on for dear life. Kansas absolutely blows out Houston. Illinois, man, and their old retro. I'll admit, helmets looked amazing. Uniforms. There's a reason we upgraded the uniforms. I get it. Helmets looked absolutely sick, though. Love the helmets. Illinois wins 21-7 over Michigan. Big win for Illinois. I felt like they could have done more on offense. Felt like they should have scored maybe a little bit more, but you aren't going to complain about a 21-7 win over that defense at all. Western Michigan, Buffalo. Western Michigan wins 48-41. Navy, 51-17 win over Charlotte. Another team, wagon. Navy, Army, IU. Those have been the 3 teams I've been really nice with this year. Mainly IU and Army, but Navy's been there when we needed them a few times. Miami of Ohio beats Ohio, which is huge for the MAC. If you got some MAC shit, I think I gave out Miami. I actually might have not given this out, but I took Miami of Ohio plus 950 to win the MAC. I at least just hope they make the title game. Might consider cashing that out if they make the title game, but them beating Ohio is huge for their chance to make the title game. Tennessee shocks Alabama. They win 24-17. Dylan Sampson, 26 carries, 139, 2 touchdowns. He a guy. That boy pretty good at football. Moving ahead, Alabama, two losses in the last 3 games. First time since, I think, 2007 that's happened. Alabama falls a little bit more. We'll have to talk about them when we go over the top 25 here in a second. Colorado just absolutely shuts down Arizona. They win 34-7. They're 1-game win from bowl eligibility, and looking at the rest of their schedule, they got Cincinnati next week at 10-15. I think they should win that game. Texas Tech got destroyed by Baylor, so I think they can win that game. Utah does not look like nearly the same they do. Kansas, not nearly as good. And Oklahoma State, not nearly. Colorado might make the college football playoffs. Truly, if they can keep Travis Hunter healthy, with how good that offense is, if they can find ways to continue to run the football, I think Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State. And the best part, they get Utah and Oklahoma State at home. So I genuinely think they could win any of these games. I'm going to be looking for Colorado to potentially... They might make that college football playoffs, which would be huge for the Travis Hunter odds because he's been hurt the last few weeks. But, man, I truly cannot believe, they're going to make a bowl. Colorado's for sure going bowling this year. It's just, I think they might be able to do... They might make it to the conference title game. We're going to talk about college football conferences... we'll probably talk about the conferences next week a little bit, like I said. Especially when we start doing the Monday episodes, for sure going to bring up conferences every day. Or every time we talk about it. Georgia Southern beats James Madison. This was actually the game I meant. Coastal Carolina, not shocking about losing. I was thinking of James Madison. James Madison losing 28-14 to Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern now, all of a sudden, they have a chance in the Sun Belt East, man. Don't be shocked if they start making some noise. They're plus 350. I kind of want to take them to win the Sun Belt. Won't lie. San Jose, 24-14 win over Wyoming. Maryland, huge win over USC. Huge win over USC for their program. That was an amazing win. USC now, I think 0-3 in conference, man. Tough shake for them. It almost feels like, I thought somebody, I forget who I was listening to, but almost said it best, where that feels like they've been behind for just years now, and it feels like they're just now starting to fully catch up and be like, wait, we're US motherfucking C, man. We ain't just here to develop. We're on a developmental program. We get the stars, man. Feels like they've been missing a lot of that. Slowly might get back to that. I don't know. It's just rough going for them. Baylor, Texas Tech. Like I said, Baylor 59-35 win over Texas Tech. This was a massive loss for Texas Tech because they were undefeated in conference, I believe. So now having another loss, that just hurts. Because if you look at the standings of the Big 12 now, you got BYU in first place, 7-0. Iowa State 7-0 in second. Kansas State third, 6-1. Texas Tech is fourth at 5-2. Wait, is that just... Oh, that's just their actual... I was trying to look at their conference record, but it's not showing their... Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, I read their actual record. I meant to read the conference record. So you got BYU and Iowa State both 4-0 in conference. Kansas State 3-1. Texas Tech 3-1. Cincinnati 3-1. Colorado 3-1. And Colorado plays I don't think Colorado plays Iowa State, which is the huge one. The fact that they don't play Iowa State, but Iowa State play, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, BYU's going to end up, not BYU, excuse me, the Big 12 is going to potentially end up eating itself alive because Utah plays both Iowa State and BYU. I think there's a chance maybe they could steal that game. I mean, this is going to be a fun one in the It's going to be a fun one in the Big 12. Because, yeah, like I said, Colorado plays Cincinnati, Texas Tech. I mean, they play both these teams with 1 losses. They can. Man, that Kansas State game is going to come back to bite them because that's going to be the game that potentially holds them out of the title game. But, man, BYU and Iowa State loses all of a sudden. Colorado might be in that conference talk. But like I said, we're going to basically, I think that's almost the last game. We got like 3 or 4 more games to quickly talk about. Maybe a few more. Texas A&M, 34-24 win over Mississippi State. That's going to be a team to keep an eye on for the SEC title because their schedule's pretty nice to them. 34-10 win over Arkansas for LSU. Just absolutely blows them out. Vandy, 24-14 win over Ball State. Game's way closer, should have been. Iowa State claws back from the depths of hell. 38-35 win over UCF. This was a game that I was watching with my Colorado future. Like, come on, UCF. Come on, UCF. And UCF just not able to get it done. Almost gets the upset complete, just not able to get it done. Kansas State, 45-18 win over West Virginia. Kentucky got the floor mopped with them by Florida. Michigan State just destroyed Iowa. As long as Cade McNamara starting on offense, everything I said about Iowa, I stand by. But as long as Cade McNamara is starting, I'm not having any interest in that team. He's just not good. He played pretty bad. Texas loses 30-15 to Georgia. Wow. Georgia dominated them in this game, I thought. I thought they handled them pretty well, and that was, especially in the lines of scrimmage, that was like oh shit. That's a one where if these two teams meet up again, Texas is going to might have to tinker some stuff because that defensive line was just eating for Georgia all day. I mean, Carson Beck didn't have to play that good, and the defense was able to do that much to help him out. SMU blows out Stanford, which took the minus 15.5. They won by 30. UNLV wins a close one against Oregon State. Ricky White leads his team at UNLV in receiving and leads the nation in block punts. That's a guy who's going to try to play on Sundays, obviously. Because, hey, if you're able to block punts and you're playing wide receiver, I mean, hey, NFL people are going to find you. And then TCU, 13-7 win over Utah. Didn't watch this game, so I really don't know how Utah lost it. But, man, Utah used to never lose at home. Now they're losing at home a lot. Not a good sign for the Utah Utes. But like I said, so we're going to look at the top 25 real quick before we talk about Heisman odds to get out of here. Been a fun one. Like I said, it was a really fun weekend of football. A lot of fun stuff happened. Oregon moves up to number 1. They are now, like I said, they're 7-0. They got 59 of the 61 votes. Georgia moves to number 2 at 6-1. Penn State 3. Ohio State 4. Texas drops to 5. Miami stays at 6. Tennessee moves up to 11. LSU stays at 8. Clemson moves up to 9. Iowa State drops down to 10. You got BYU at 11, Notre Dame 12, IU 13. Shout out. Texas A&M 14. Alabama drops all the way to 15. Then you got Kansas State, Boise State, Ole Miss, Pitt, and then Illinois rounding out the top 20. 21 is Missouri, 22 is SMU, 23 is Army, 24 is Navy, and then Vanderbilt. Shout out to them making their way into the top 25. I want to look up who's receiving votes because on my site they don't show who's receiving votes. I'm kind of shocked Colorado's not at all. Washington's 46, Syracuse 15, UNLV 5, Duke 2, South Carolina 1, Nebraska 1, Liberty 1. With how good their offense is, I'm shocked. Like, I almost wonder if this is some Colorado hate. I'm truly shocked they aren't. At least, like... But also, to be fair, I think Army and Navy should be a little bit more up. Like, why is... I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question it because, like I said, top 25 ends up... Hey, it'll all work itself out. Usually ends up working itself out anyway if this stuff stays true, so... I think I will not be shocked if Colorado gets itself at least ranked a little bit. I don't know if they're going to shoot up all the way there now. In college football playoffs, like, they're going to need some pretty big weeks of shooting up the rankings to do that, but they at least, I think, like I said, they have a chance to at least stand a chance for conference, and hopefully if they keep putting wins together, might even be able to find a way into the playoffs. But we're going to end it real quick. We're looking at Heisman odds. Your boy... Man, every week that goes by, the 3,300 number I said about Ashton Genty just breaks my heart more and more and more that I didn't take it. We were able to get him at plus 1,000. I hate to say it, but it was at plus 1,000. I actually cashed it out to double down on Travis Hunter because I was basically, I think I put in 20 or 30 on Ashton Genty, and I was able to get basically cash out 100 of the. I basically cashed out $100, which is not even like half of what I would have won. I think it was close to winning like 280, 290, something like that. But I cashed out a little bit, spring it on Hunter, and then yeah, Hunter's gotten hurt the last 2 weeks, so that's been awesome. Love that. So yeah, Heisman wise, you got Cam Ward who's at plus 200, Ashton Genty who's at plus 200, Dylan Gabriel plus 350, and then Travis Hunter at plus 1,500. Cade Klubnik at plus 2,000, and I like said Garrett Nussmeier plus 3,000 maybe. But any lower than that, there's no point taking anybody. Honestly, I don't think I wouldn't go any lower than Carson Beck on the odds because, yeah. I mean, maybe Shedeur Sanders plus 6,000. Bryson Daly might not be a bad sprinkle, but yeah, it just sucks because as much as I think Shedeur and Bryson Daly are as deserving, if not maybe more, you got guys like Ashton Genty, stud, deserves it. Cam Ward putting up the numbers, so you could argue. Dylan Gabriel has the number 1 team in the country, putting up some numbers now, so it's like, oh, I can see it. So it just sucks. Like I said, I might sprinkle Daly, and I actually am. I hate to do it. I don't think this is more of a play to, hey, maybe if they make it to one of the 5 people there, that'd be awesome. I don't think they're gonna win. Truly, this is more of just an odds play that. Shedeur plus 6,000, Bryson Daly plus 8,000. I mean, that just feels way too big. Hopefully, one's 10 to win 600, one's 10 to win 800. 800 is the Bryson Daly one. Maybe, I just get 2 or 3 great weeks out of it, cash it out again for some more because, like I said, if I had to pick the top 5 now that are going to make it to New York, for me it's Cam Ward, Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter. Personally, for me, I don't know if I had Dylan Gabriel there. I think I will just to respect the odds this week. But we're going to do this every week, by the way. Every week I'll pick my new 5 I have going to basically New York for the Heisman Trophy. But yeah, Cam Ward, Genty, Dylan Gabriel, Travis Hunter. And since this is my show and my choosing, I'm going to skip over a lot of these guys. I'm actually going to go Bryson Daly. Just simply to give him an invite to New York. Maybe even Curtis Rourke wouldn't be a bad one for Indiana. But like I said, I don't think Bryson Daly, I don't think is going to win it. But with how good he's the best Army quarterback in history stat-wise this season. And if he keeps putting up these numbers, he's at least potentially going to make it to New York. So those are going to be my 5 to make it to New York. Like I said, that 5th spot is going to be a revolving door. Cam Ward, Ashton Genty, and Travis Hunter are kind of my locks. Locks to make the... we're going to actually write that down. So we'll go Heisman, quote-unquote, locks. So basically these are guys to make New York. To make it to New York. So like I said, we got Cam Ward, we got Ashton Genty, we got Travis Hunter. I think those 3 are damn near going to be locked in. And then, yeah, Dylan Gabriel, I think, might end up there. I'm going to pick Carson Daly just because how good Bryson Daly. I combined him and Carson Beck's name. Just simply for how good Army's been to us. That's what I'm going to do. And simply, to end the show real quick, we're going to go National Championship odds. You got Georgia plus 330. Ohio State plus 450, Texas plus 500, Oregon plus 500, Penn State plus 1,200, Clemson plus 1,400, Tennessee plus 1,500, Miami, the U plus 1,800. I probably wouldn't go any lower than that. And then I think to make the playoffs, looking at some of these teams that are on the fringe now, Boise State back to minus 110 after some big teams won. Basically, it's because Iowa State basically moved to a team that's going to get a bye, and Boise State's now going to be like the 11-12 seed. Texas A&M plus 130, not bad. Kansas State plus 175. IU plus 200 is tempting. BYU might not be a bad one. SMU plus 250 is another one I don't mind. Colorado plus 750. Not bad odds. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Like I said, thank you all for watching. Thank you for the support. Really do appreciate it. Like I said, I got some more. We're going to try to move to 3 episodes, maybe even 4 episodes a week. Just so instead of doing like 2 massive hour and a half shows, maybe break it up and just do like 40, 50 each day, so that way you basically can. College football people, you got me on Monday with the college football. If you're an NFL guy, NFL is going to sprinkle its way all into the show, so if you're a football guy, let's be honest, you're probably going to watch my Monday and Tuesday shows between college and NFL, especially if you're deeply in love with it. And then we're hopefully going to bring in some college basketball, NBA talk for sometime in the week, and then we got the Pickem show. We're going to try to upgrade a little bit, go up a little bit, give out a little bit more. Just because, as I said, time's starting to free up a little bit for you, boy. So I'm finally, okay, let's try to ramp it up a little bit. But like I said, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for the report. Really do appreciate it. Appearing on Captain by a Hook this week. I'll leave the link in the description. That's on Thursday. Tomorrow, you know what it is, man. Picks, NFL bets, NFL breakdowns, college bets, college breakdowns. Thank y'all for watching. I will see everybody in this feed Wednesday for the Pickem Thursday week. Shit, we're counting college football. NFL, it's basically NFL Pick'em. So it's NFL Pick'em week 8, Pick'em week 9.